Since I sort of ran out of time in that section, I just want to quickly briefly touch on some of the functionalities of each of my classes. So we've got our quiz class here, which I spoke about, which is the main quiz. Basically, we've got our getters and setters up here for all of the different factors the quiz has to take into account, such as the questions, the options, if it's the right question, so that's the correct index, the type of question, so I used an enum for that. So if it indicates if it's a true or false question or whether it's a multiple choice question, and the explanation. And then obviously it needs to, at the beginning of the quiz, set the score to 0, so it keeps the score whenever each question is answered. And then obviously we'll get from the send answer method here, we'll get the whether the answer was correct based on the index the user gave, so the answer they gave, and then it'll match it with the correct index. And then give an explanation based on that. So here are my 10 questions. Some are multiple choice, some are true or false. They're a bit mixed, so it adds for a little bit of variety, but each one checks for those conditions. If it's the correct index here, then it'll indicate the correct answer. And if not, then it'll, like I said earlier, indicate that was the incorrect answer. Next, we've got our task system method. Basically, this compiles all of the different factors of a task, including the description, the title, the status, so whether it's pending, whether it's completed. And then basically we have all our methods here for creating, deleting, or viewing those tasks that I showed before. And then this method here, which is a reminder parser, basically just takes the person's input, so such as remind me in 10 minutes or at 3 p.m. or tomorrow or today or etc., and takes that specific string or input, and then matches it. If it contains that, then it'll output a correct time or date for when the task should be set for. Then we'll move on to, here's my activity log. So this basically just displays all of the main activities that happens during the session. So it just takes everything that's happened in the session, loads it to a file, and then saves it to the log. All right, and then let's go here. This is the main code and logic behind the presentation form. So essentially, we've got the way where it controls here. In our main window, it asks for the user's name. This basically ensures that the chat functionality works correctly on the Windows presentation form. We've got our buttons here, so this is where our send button talks to it talks to our response class over there, so that it can get all of the correct validation and everything. And then we've also got that quiz button below here, which is set for starting the quiz. And then as per part 1 and part 2, we've got the same two classes, our mood and our memory, that talk to our txt files that contain all of our prompts, etc. Alrighty, and that'll be all for today. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation, and have a good day.